Good evening, it's May 24th, 2025, and it's time for my second set of devotionals. Won't you join me?
And celebrate recovery, healing from hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Day 144, Hitting the Wall. Since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Hebrews 12:1. A friend of mine ran a marathon. He told me it was one of the most difficult things he's ever done. He explained that at a certain point in the race, his mind began to tell him, "It's time to stop. You can't go on." Marathon runners call this hitting the wall. Only by pushing through that wall are runners able to finish the race. Being in recovery is a lot like running a marathon. At some point, we start to hear that old tape in our heads. You can't go any further. This is just too hard for you. That means we're about to hit the wall, and we're faced with the choice to push even harder or give up. Experienced runners say they get through the wall by trusting their training, and with the help of all the people on the sidelines cheering them on. That's the part our sponsors and accountability partners bring to our recovery. Their encouragement means everything. The difference between winning and losing, to a large extent, depends on who we listen to. If we listen to the voices that tell us to give up because we're never going to make it, we'll never see the end of the race. But if we choose to push through the wall and go for that finish line, we will hear the cheers of men and angels. Prayer. Help me, Father, to push past the wall and finish my race. I know I can't do it without you. In Jesus' name, amen. And in my quiet time devotional, Day 144, Outside In. And so my judgment is that we should not make it difficult for the Gentiles who are turning to God. Instead, we should write and tell them to abstain from eating food offered to idols, from sexual immorality, from eating the meat of strangled animals, and from consuming blood. Acts 15:19-20. In Judaism, Moses' law was the standard, and good Jews adhered to it. Suddenly, along came this new faith, grown out of Judaism. Christianity opened its doors wide to Jews and Gentiles alike, blending them into the family of God. We take it for granted, but for these early believers, the issue of Gentiles becoming believers was hotly debated and questioned. Many Jewish believers thought that Gentiles needed to become Jews first before they could become Christians. In other words, they needed to follow Moses' laws, including the requirement of circumcision. Fortunately, the leaders of the church didn't see it that way. Gentiles could become believers without having to follow all the rules of the Jewish law, particularly the requirement of circumcision. They saw beyond the letter of the law to the spirit of the law, and what could have torn the church apart was handled with finesse and wisdom. Because of Christ, the gospel is for everyone. All believers will have their variations on how they worship and what they believe about various doctrines. But as long as we agree on the basics, we are all children of God and should treat each other with respect and love. Apart from upholding godliness in each other's life, we must not judge one another according to our own sets of rules. In what ways can you overlook non-essential differences among believers? Even rejoice in how God uses so many people to accomplish His purposes on earth.
Tonight, I'm definitely hitting a wall when it's coming to doing these devotionals. I'm reading it, I'm taking it in, but for some reason I'm hitting a wall on being able to process them. I can tell you that I really desire for people to know that I'm a Christian from the outside in. I want them to be able to see it, as well as know that from the inside out I'm the same. I hope you have a blessed day.